Okay, someone was requesting, oh, what were they asking me? Oh, a wiring diagram for my control panels here. Well, I was using the matrix out of keyboards, and starting to realize that a lot of keyboards don't use the PS2 port anymore. And the USB adapters on keyboards don't seem to be working out because of the USB system, even though it uses the same bus as a PS2 keyboard, USB keyboard. Not all keyboards have, and it's in the keyboard, not in the computer, not in the operating system. The keyboard with USB cannot affect the operating system on repeat rates and delays. Some keyboards are programmable for this, to increase your whatever, but whatever, exactly. This is the problem. So, the hell with that. I picked this up for $7. Joypad USB, and the repeat rate is, more than enough. So, see, you just crack them open. Whoever manufactured this one, the person who said they wanted the diagram, they said they could solder, so this is good. They were kind enough to put a big fat, this is all tinned up, so it's not covered in carbon, like they usually have on the button, and they usually cover these up too. And also, you can see where the ground is. This is a ground system where, the fatter wire going to some of these pads here. It's the ground, and it's going to more than one. And the ground is that fattest part all around. And the thin lines. And it seems the thin line sides got them nice soldering pads. So this is cool. So I just got to scuff them up and make sure they're clean, and I can solder right to those little round pads instead of trying to get in between those little forks there. So I just need one ground and then solder to all these little pads for my buttons. They're even marked on this side. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Left, right, up, down. So there you go. I'll show some more after I start soldering some wires onto this thing and show you what I'm up to. Okay, a quick update. As you can see, I've started the process of soldering the wires onto the gamepad. Like I told you, those nice little fat round pads over there are really helping me out. Anyhow, okay. According to the Nintendo schematic, there is more than one ground wire. I think this is because Space Firebird and some of their earlier games only had a left and right. It didn't have it only had a left and right. It didn't have an up and down. This is probably why this kind of weird second cable setup came about with Donkey Kong. But I'm going to place these 3 grounds in 3 different places rather than just cutting them wires and whatever. It won't hurt to have multiple grounds hooked into the ground. It isn't really needed either, but whatever. Anyhow, I'm carrying. One other thing, these ground pads here are not necessarily as big as these ones, so I'm going to employ an old trick. The copper here is covered with a they cover it so it doesn't go in contact with anything or corrosion. So what I'm going to do is just scratch off a bit of this coating, and what we will see underneath is copper. Okay, it's not copper. It's silver like the rest of the stuff, but some type of alloy. So now I can take this ground wire and put it neatly with the rest of the bundle, cut it and solder it on that spot. Here, I'll take a shot of that. And there's our first jerry-rigged hookup. Do a quick update again. I did a little more scratching there and put these gray and purple wires, which are also ground. See, gray, purple grounds. And I know button, this is button 1, 2, 3, 4, but I know it's button A is here. And button B is there. Now I don't know why. There's a wire for button B. And there's a wire for button B, and I realize there is no button B. If oh, I can't take the board apart, but if you look in there, you actually see a connection not being used and a hole. I guess maybe that was radar scope, that hole, and then later on Stan ended up in there. Stan button. Anyhow, I'm gonna take this thing back apart and take my USB controller and put it together. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna have to double check this, but there's the general idea. And I'll just cut off the excess there, leave it, maybe I'll drill a hole in it and mount it to something. And I just mount the board inside, up underneath. And the way I got this worked out here is these nuts, or these bolts, are holding the bracket, which would normally be clamped inside the machine. And in there you see those things that you drill a hole and then you hammer those threaded, they're called nut longs, those threaded things with the teeth. So essentially it's like a nut that's mounted into the wood. I use that in furniture a lot. So I just unscrew this, unscrew it on the other side, panel comes off, unplug it, stick it back on the machine. And that's it. I don't think I can say much more about this right now. I'm going to do some testing.